Battle of the Bosses. Today we got John Gotti, the boss of the infamous Gambino family out of New York, versus Tony Soprano, boss of the New Jersey DeMeo/Soprano family. These two go head-to-head in an all-out war. No other families are involved. This battle will depend purely on the resources of their respective families. So let's see who survives. Peak versus peak. Late 1980s Gambino family under John Gotti versus early 2000s DeMeo/Soprano family under Tony Soprano. Only their families, ills made men of associates, cash, businesses, and union reach already under each boss. No calling another 5 families Lupertazzi. No outside gangs. Order of battle, very rough Gambino, Gotti. 200 to 300 made men, thousands of associates, strong footholds in NYC construction, concrete club, carting, ports, airports, trucking, gambling, loans, and deep union influence, E.O.G., Teamsters, carpenters, locals, Daimio, Soprano, 30 to 60 made men, a few hundred associates, North Jersey rackets and carting, construction, gambling, shylocking, strip clubs, no-show jobs, lighter union reach and smaller cash flow. Leadership styles. Why this matters. Gotti. Charismatic, flamboyant, decisive, willing to escalate. Strengths, intimidation, rapid mobilization. Brand power. Weaknesses. High profile, operational security lapses. Lots of surveillance heat. Tony. Pragmatic, adaptive, prefers profit over headlines. Strengths. Low visibility tactics. Flexible alliances inside NJ. Good at reading people. Weaknesses, smaller bench, periodic internal instability, several fragile links, turncoats, family stress. Likely phases of an all-out war, opening moves, signaling probing Gotti side tests, Jersey's perimeter, price squeezes, work slowdowns, and accidental interference on shared revenue streams, carting concrete supply. Tony's side answers asymmetrically, diversions, quiet rerouting of income, selective counters designed to avoid big headlines, economic pressure campaign, the decisive front. Gotti advantage, union leverage over materials, trucking, and job sites that Jersey relies on. Concrete, permits, and carting gets snarled. DeMeo cash flow dips fast. Tony counter, shift to cash-heavy, less interdependent rackets. Any overt violence brings massive NJ law enforcement attention. Gotti's family is already under heavy surveillance. Big headlines accelerate indictments. Tony tries to keep things deniable and local to avoid a public bloodbath, aiming to let heat land in Manhattan rather than Newark. Law enforcement shockwave sustained. Cross-river conflict triggers joint task forces. The larger target, Gambino, draws the bigger cases. Tapes and witnesses accumulate. Paradox. Gotti can win the street campaign yet absorb the heaviest legal damage. Tony can lose ground but outlast in court. Who wins, why, and how short term? 6 to 12 months. Gambino edge. Material and manpower. Why? Scale unions. Controlling concrete. Carting and trucking lets Gotti choke Jersey's most profitable projects. He can outstaff protection, and keep pressure on multiple crews at once. How high level? Economic suffocation, work slowdowns, supply disruptions, selective recruitment of Jersey earners, and constant show of force presence, enough to make DeMeo kick up more or cede contested territories. Medium term, 12-24 months. Pyrrhic for Gotti, survivability edge to Tony. Why the heat? Gotti's flamboyance plus a very large footprint invite the biggest federal state cases. Tony's smaller, quieter footprint, while damaged, is easier to recamouflage and recapitalize. How? After the squeeze, indictments begin piling up in NYC. Tony consolidates under the radar, trims exposure, and rebuilds around cash flow rackets less dependent on NYC unions. Final verdict battle winner, Gotti Gambino. They can impose terms on the street and force concessions through sheer capacity and union pressure. War cost, very high for Gambino. Survivability winner is Tony. The same size and visibility that give Gotti the battlefield win also draw crushing legal consequences. Tony likely limps away smaller but intact, able to regenerate. Key variables that could flip the outcome. Public profile. If Gotti stayed unusually low-key against type, his advantage becomes overwhelming. Internal stability. If Tony loses even one key capo to defection or indictment early, his position collapses. Revenue mix. The more the fight centers on NYC-dependent construction union work, the more it favors Gotti. The more it tilts to decentralized cash rackets, the more it helps Tony. On the street and in the near term, Gotti's Gambino machine wins by scale and economic leverage. Over time, that victory likely triggers the legal dragnet that hurts Gambino more, leaving Tony, battered but quieter, to survive the aftermath. So what do you think? Do you agree? Drop a like, comment, and subscribe.